Hi everyone, I'm Deborah Mendonça and I'd like to welcome you to day 2 of my 90-day challenge. Now today I'm going to delve straight into teaching you one of the creative processes that designers use in order to generate ideas for our clients. So basically this is going to be of value to you. You know, it's so versatile, this whole procedure. You can use it to, you know, generate new business ideas, to generate new products that you want to show to your clients. You know, basically this whole procedure, you can take it in any situation and implement it within that. So I need you to think about the word ICEDIP. That's ICEDIP. And I need you to think about this because this is the key to the whole creative process which I'm about to teach you. Now, there's loads of different processes out there that stimulates creativity, etc., etc. But I'm teaching you this particular one because, you know, it's easy to remember, it's short and sweet, and, you know, I think, you know, because it's so versatile, you're going to love it. So with that anagram in mind, ICEDIP, the first letter within that word stands for inspiration. Now, inspiration is probably the most obvious word within the word ICEDIP in terms of creativity, and people get their inspiration from a number of different sources. Some people meditate, some people would like to be at one with nature. It's quite surprising how nature can, you know, boost creativity and be such an inspiration to people. Others like to brainstorm, you know, and brainstorming is something that I do on a regular basis, not only in terms of my design work, but also in terms of pushing my businesses forward, etc., etc. And, you know, a lot of people don't actually like the word brainstorm anymore. They reckon, you know, it's got negative connotations to it. They reckon it's old school. I have no attachment to the word brainstorm. I think it's fantastic. At the end of the day, you know, it's all about thought generation, and, you know, that's effectively what it is. But, you know, you may hear people calling it mind mapping these days. And, you know, the best way to mind map is to, you know, start off with, you know, your initial ideas, and, you know, you create these branches with words that relate, some that don't relate. You can do total opposites, you can do similar words. And, you know, you need to try and let go of all your inhibitions and, you know, just try and be as free thinking as possible. And, you know, even if, you know, a word or an idea springs to mind and you just think it's totally crazy, you know, it's just not comprehensible, I don't care. You need to put that down because you never know where that idea, where that thought is going to lead on to next. So you need to think about inspiration. In other videos I'll be showing you other ways in order, you know, to create your mind maps. You know, there's different software that you can use. There's loads of different techniques to it. So subscribe to this channel because I'm sure you'll be interested in learning all of these techniques in terms of, you know, trying to provoke all of these, provoke thought generation, really. Okay, so inspiration, that's the I in ICEDIP. The E in, no, I'm going on to the C. I've got my post-it notes are lined up incorrectly. But so the C in ICEDIP is for clarification. Now, clarification, what is clarification? If you don't have clarification in terms of, you know, what is the whole point in doing the creative process if you don't have clarification on why you're doing it? So, you know, I'm going to give you some examples from a designer's perspective because, you know, I can put that into context easily as I'm a designer. So for me, my clarification would be, you know, who is my target audience? Who am I doing a logo design for, or whoever, you know? Is it for children? Is it for teenagers? Is it for senior citizens? You know, because without clarification, it's going to be hard for you to pinpoint where your final product will end up at. You know, in my case, you know, there's certain colours, you know, that will be more appealing to certain age groups than other age groups. So all of this comes into play. You need clarification on why you're doing this whole creative process in the first place. So now the E. The E in ICEDIP is for evaluation. Now basically what you need to do is you need to take a look at your brainstorm and you need to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each idea. Now by this point you may have eliminated a certain amount of ideas that you want to take forward. So you know you need to then take this group and you need to analyse the strengths and weaknesses. In my case, you know, say for example, I'll use the logo design example again. Say for example, I'm doing the logo design, and you know, I've got 7 or 8 ideas that, you know, they look aesthetically pleasing, they're funky, they're contemporary, which is exactly what the client wants. And so, you know, I feel like I'm on track to that extent. But, you know, is a certain logo that it looks really complicated in terms of its intricacy, is that going to be effective if I were to shrink it, and if the client wants it as an icon, you know, to represent himself as a favicon on in a magazine or whatever? You, as a designer, you need to think about these things, you know. You know, is a certain design going to look as effective in black and white if it were to be printed in a newspaper? So, you know, you need to evaluate all of your ideas for its strengths and weaknesses, you know, so eliminate the weaknesses and, you know, really play on the strengths of each idea.